I don't understand bullying. Why are you mad at me because I'm ugly? What does my leaky brain have to do with you? And how many times can you realistically fornicate with my mom? Please give me a break. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is check Twitter to see today's main character. And if I've learned anything after being on the internet for over a decade, is that you never want to be today's main character. The early 2000s equivalent to that would be sitting in the back of the class and watching who the bigger kids start to circle in on. It's like that scene from The Lion King where the hyenas will start to close in on Simba. In that analogy, I'm the elephant or the seagull. Bullying is such a wild concept. Out of all the ways to entertain and make people laugh, you literally chose the lowest hanging fruit. Taking human history into account, the first incident of bullying was done through cave drawings and grunting. All of those symbols preserved in museums most likely are documentation of the first person to get cooked. Would you count stoning as bullying? It's a little close to being flipped upside down and having your head dunked into a toilet full of human feces, but nowhere near as bad as the career-ending label African booty scratcher.
I'm from Africa, you from Africa, you African booty scratcher.
Bullying gets a lot more complicated when there's multiple people involved. It's easy to tune one person out telling you that you smell like hot Cheetos and Gamer Girl bathwater, but it's damn near impossible to tune out an entire group of people where there's a ringleader calling you a goofy ass boy, and all of his yes men are in the background laughing louder than a nuclear fallout siren. You haven't truly reached rock bottom until the entire class is laughing at you, not with you. Even the small quiet child in the background who doesn't even raise his hand unless it's to go to the bathroom. Bullying is survival of the fittest. The only way to truly survive is to keep your head low and stay out of everyone's attention. You want to be the loner boy in the background that everyone is afraid of. Be the one with the hoodie up that could go off at any moment. As a child, bullying is usually the worst part about school next to teachers' hot breath and the FitnessGram pacer test. Someone could call my shoes ugly in the first period and I would think about that all the way until I got home and took a shower that night. It's crazy how much words can affect a person. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt you. Yeah, that doesn't really sound well until someone is cooking the absolute daylight out of you in front of all the pretty girls at school. Kids unfortunately don't have a filter either, so the worst things I've heard in my life more than likely came from when I was like 10 and 11. And we were still just learning what the cuss word is even meant when we were saying it. Fighting is the natural progression in the bullying pipeline. There's only so many times someone can say they slept with your mom before you have to turn their face into a glory hole. Don't click off, please don't click off. I got into about 7 fights in middle school. Did I win any of them? Absolutely not. I got folded like a lawn chair. But hey, it's the effort that counts, right? Everyone has to stand up for themselves at one point. And do I regret standing up for myself? Absolutely. I really wouldn't call it standing up for myself when they were putting me on my ass every time. So it's like working out, but you drop all the weights on your foot. There's no progress there. The funny part is that a lot of those incidents started because I made a joke that someone didn't like in response to their initial joke about me.
That doesn't seem fair.
From the classroom to the lunchroom to the school parking lot, there really isn't an arena that isn't fit for fighting. Fighting in school never ended well for me because I was about 5'6" at the time. How tall was I? I was about 5'6" at the time and 116 pounds, so a light breeze would knock me over. In fact, I actually repeatedly got lifted up and thrown into a gate and picked me up by my leg and threw me. But hey, it made me a stronger person. Should I sit here and lie and say that it motivated me to get in the gym? No, it didn't. I got a little bit of gains now. So if I ever see that kid, break his damn kneecaps. I used to hold this belief that fighting in school had to be a lot more tamed because, you know, you're in the classroom. But no, I saw people throw entire chairs at people from across the other side of the room. You ever just doing the timetables and next thing you know, there's a fight breaking out and there's a chair going across the head of someone else? It's kind of funny. Damn, it's degenerate ass kids. Teachers would try and step in the middle to break it up and they would get absolutely folded their damn selves. How are you 30 years old getting tossed to the side by a 10-year-old? That's crazy. Stand up. Be a man. But on the other hand, how do you as a child have so much anger inside of you? Is everything okay at home? Everything was not okay with me at home. The aftermath of the fight usually ends up being worse than the initial fight itself, because now you either have the reputation of being this legend, this unbeatable figure in a classroom full of children, or you're being ridiculed until the time you graduate, because people don't forget the time someone dropped you on the side of your neck. We obviously can see which which path I was forced down. Bullying really evolved once the internet became readily available. Most people's first instance of cyberbullying came from in-game chats. You can't go one day about someone screeching about how you can't survive in a Call of Duty chat from back in the day. Listen, man, you were just racist. You were just a racist. I stopped using my mic for a long time because every time I breathed, someone was able to figure out that I was black, and I was relentlessly harassed for it. Damn, how did you figure that out? People get so angry when they're losing a game. You don't really know someone until you see them getting cooked, absolutely cooked by a child in Fortnite. I learned quickly that the best way to actually troll someone was to bait them into saying something absolutely horrific to you in messages and then report them.
So yeah, you're gay.
The messages you would get after they came back from that week ban, you don't get stuff like that anymore because everyone's too afraid to say something through chat. They just say it during the in-game chat and it's all censored. You're a grown-ass man screaming at the top of your lungs over a Destiny match against a 16-year-old? Look at yourself in the mirror and truly reflect. Nothing can truly compare to cyberbullying though. Social media brings out the absolute worst in an individual. No matter what site you frequent, you will run into the absolute worst person you've ever had the displeasure of meeting. I remember when 4chan used to be the internet's boogeyman. I used to frequent it very heavily in middle school back when my friend first introduced it to me. This kid in the 8th grade showed me the website, and that was the turning point of my childhood development. That website is composed of the worst people you'll ever meet, the type of people that you would like to avoid eye contact with on the train. And that's a doozy. Anonymity, it's a word. Anonymity is truly the catalyst of unhinged degeneracy. Yeah, those are vocab words. When people know that what they say has virtually no ties to the real person that they are, they'll say the worst things that come to mind with pleasure. Or so I used to think that. Fucking Twitter is awful. The average Twitter user has 2 overweight squirrels where their brain should be. Anything you tweet can and will offend someone that you didn't even know existed until that moment. Stating your preference on Twitter is basically signing yourself up to be tarred and feathered online. I don't think Twitter users enjoy talking to other people or even being alive, to be honest. I say that as someone that uses Twitter a lot more than I'm comfortable admitting. I don't believe we should know what millions of people are thinking at any given moment. We were not created with the capacity for that knowledge. I remember having assemblies in middle schools about the dangers of bullying, which obviously didn't work because I would be sitting right next to someone that was harassing one of my classmates through their cheap ass little phone on MySpace. And guess who that classmate was? It was me. How can words hurt you if you just close your eyes? Please utilize the block feature to its full capabilities. And speaking of blocking, let's go back to anonymity. Everyone on social media has a burner account. The majority of people on Twitter don't even use their own face. Most people you come across will either have an NBA YoungBoy picture, a LeBron photo, or some random K-pop idol the only weirdos on Stan Twitter will even recognize. What a bunch of jobless simpletons. See, that sounded like bullying, so I'm gonna retract that statement. See, Facebook has tried to crack down on bullying, so any word you say that could possibly be interpreted as mean, more than likely will net to a 30-day ban. I've spent over a year on Postblock. That's about 13 30-day bans across 6 different accounts that I own. You think YouTube is restrictive? Try going on Facebook and calling someone stupid and see how quickly your Facebook post gets taken down. I mean, I still use it every day. Where else can you harass the elderly on? I know there's another site that's filled to the brim with negativity, but TikTok's demographics are like children that still need a bedtime, and I don't want to go down the Ricegum path of introducing more bullying to children, so I'm gonna ignore them until they're old enough to get cooked legally. Is there an age of consent for being cooked by a weirdo in his bedroom? FBI, open up! Honestly, the best thing social media did was reveal just how lame these rich people and celebrities actually are. Look at you of all your millions crying about how Tommy Knows blows from bumfuck Alabama is commenting Taylor ended you under your Twitter post. What is wrong with you? A prime example of that is rapper 50 Cent. Since he joined the platform, 70% of his posts are him attacking other celebrities.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
And we love him for it. Cardi B regularly goes back and forth with her detractors on Twitter, and everyone's favorite product of apartheid trust fund baby Elon Musk keeps on changing the Twitter policies anytime he gets cooked by a random. I have to make this all come full circle. If you're bullying someone, you're a loser and you need a job. The world would be a better place if we were all nicer to each other. Go out today, give someone a random compliment even if you don't mean it. Call your mom up, tell her that you forgive her for giving birth to you. Do something right in the world today. I feel like a hypocrite because my first 3 videos on this site could be categorized as cyberbullying, but no one knows who I am yet, so this is basically the tree falling in the woods when no one's around problem. If no one gets offended by my harassment, did I truly say anything mean? Probably. I'm trying to limit myself to 20 mean tweets a day, 5 backhanded laugh reacts, and 1 slur. Alright, more like 2 slurs.